Sanibonani Mzansi. I am your host Candice Khumalo and I welcome you to another episode of the Health from Mzansi podcast. We all crave connection, but for many of us, getting close can trigger a whole lot of anxiety. Whether it's with partners, friends, or even family, the fear of intimacy is more common than you think, and it can hold us back from having the fulfilling relationships we deserve. But fear not, friend, because in this episode, we chat to life, relationship, and mental health coach Kgaogelo Photoane, who will unpack the reasons why intimacy can feel so scary and how to break free from that fear.
Thank you so much for having me, Candice. My name is Kgaogelo Photoane. I am a woman of many hats. I'm a mom. I'm a speech therapist and audiologist. I'm also an accredited life coach, a facilitator and speaker from Kgaogelo Life Coaching, which is my Kgaogelo Life Coaching business brand. And we basically help people navigate towards being their best selves. So I've been very blessed to be very busy just helping people navigate towards the best version of themselves.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Kgaogelo. Can you please just start by defining intimacy and highlight what the different ways fear of intimacy can manifest in relationships between that friendship, etc.?
So intimacy is a close, familiar, or affectionate or loving personal relationship, but with someone else. It can be with yourself or with someone else. So it has emotional closeness. This is someone that you can be vulnerable with, someone that you trust, someone that you have a deep connection with. Because people can have a relationship with no intimacy. Okay, so when you can become vulnerable with someone, when you have emotional closeness, when you can open up emotionally to that person, when you can trust them with yourself, and you have a deep connection with that is intimacy. And this can be between family members, this can be in romantic relationships, and this can be even with members of your family, your child, your mom, your brother, your sister, and etc. The common ways, I'm going to mention 5 common ways that fear of intimacy can be affected or can manifest is by avoidance. So people who fear intimacy may avoid being vulnerable. Okay, these are people that are deemed as emotionally unavailable. They have very on the surface conversations and they stay clear of sharing any personal experiences, any personal feelings. They don't talk much about themselves and they avoid any situation that can lead them to being emotionally connected to someone. So they avoid any situation that can make them emotionally connected to someone. Number 2 is self-sabotage. These are people that self-sabotage their own relationships. So when they realize that they become very close with someone or that they forming a deep sense of emotional connection, they start creating distance, they start picking fights, they start doing anything that might show them or validate the fact that people are dangerous. So they do things that will cause that person to act in a way that validates how they feel about trusting another person. Say in a relationship that's going really well, and you see that this man, he loves me, you start picking fights about random stuff. And when he starts moving away, you're like, exactly, this is what I thought. That's what people do. And this is why I don't connect with people. The third one is trust issues. So trust issues, I think, is self-explanatory. These people struggle to trust other people with themselves, with their emotions, and they really fear being vulnerable. And this is usually due to past experiences of betrayal or rejection. The fourth one is fear of rejection or abandonment. So these people really fear being abandoned. And what they do then is they overly give themselves because they're so scared that this person might run away. They really do too much. They start people pleasing and sometimes they don't even allow that person to know the real them. They just mirror what the person does so they can be accepted. And then the last one is difficulty to self-disclose. And it goes hand in hand with the fear of rejection, where you are unable to share your true thoughts, your true feelings, your true experiences with other people because you might feel like they'll reject you or judge you. And that all obviously creates barriers between you and other people and it deprives you of forming deep connections with other people.
So how would you say the fear of intimacy impacts our ability to have healthy, fulfilling relationships?
I think more than anything, because people sabotage and they avoid because they're scared of being hurt or rejected or anything of that sort, it can result in difficulties with trust. It can result in difficulties with emotional intimacy. It can also affect communication because you're not letting people know your true emotions, your true feelings, your true thoughts. And it obviously stops you from developing deep connections with other people. And this also leads to like isolation as well, because you're not allowing other people in, but you're not also going into, like the sphere of other people truly. So I think the fear of it can really impact our abilities to create healthy and fulfilling relationships, because that is part of the hierarchy of needs by Maslow. We need healthy and fulfilling relationships. We have this need to belong. So a sense of fear of intimacy has a significant impact on that. It impacts our ability to have healthy and fulfilling relationships that we need for ourselves as well.
So what's your take on past experiences? How can past experiences contribute to fear of intimacy?
There are usually the core reasons why people have fear of intimacy. For example, say someone has experienced neglect as a child. They may obviously struggle to trust other people, and they might struggle to believe that they're worthy of love. They might struggle to believe that they're worthy of someone caring about them. And this obviously will lead to difficulties in forming close relationships. Because if you feel like my mom didn't love me, my dad didn't love me, they didn't take care of me, you don't understand why other people would love you, because you're not used to that feeling. You're not used to being, embraced the way other people might want to embrace you. And say in terms of relationships, traumatic relationship breakups are really, like the word says, traumatic, and they create emotional scars, that make people hesitant before they open up, because they don't want to get hurt again. Because breakups take so much also away from people. So they just don't want to be hurt again. And what these past experiences do is they shape your belief system regarding intimacy and vulnerability. You feel like it might make you weak, it might lead to someone abusing you, and it leads to also fear and getting too close to others. But I also want people to understand that your past doesn't matter. What happened to you doesn't matter. And it's not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection on who the other person is. And it doesn't deem you unworthy of actual love and actual intimacy with people that want to love you now.
Kgaogelo, so what are some practical steps listeners can take to overcome their fear of intimacy?
Number one, people need to be very self-aware. You need to recognize and acknowledge that the fear of intimacy exists. But you cannot heal what you do not acknowledge. And it is a challenging but very rewarding process, because with self-awareness comes having to sit down with yourself and actually sit down and go through what it is that has caused you to have a fear of intimacy. So that can mean reliving something that has happened to you, or going back into an experience that you blocked out of your mind. But you need to sit down with those uncomfortable feelings and understand where they stem from. Number two, therapy or counseling. People need to normalize therapy and counseling, and actually finding a way to work through these past experiences and underlying issues that may contribute to the fear of intimacy. You need support and guidance to overcome these barriers. Sometimes you can do it by yourself, but sometimes you might need a bit of extra help to get you over that fence. People can do is they can communicate. They can have honest and open communication with people that are around them, whether it's friends, family members, or their actual partners, where they actually talk about the experience that might have led them to becoming fearful of intimacy, and actually sharing like their concerns. And that will also help them bridge the gap and build trust and deepen relationships. Also, people need to take it slow. Allow your relationship to progress at a pace that you are comfortable with. If you're going through therapy and you're starting to open up a bit, take it slow. This is very new, uncharted waters for you. So you're allowed to take it slow. And something else is prioritizing your relationship with yourself. So prioritizing self-care and self-love. So you can also deepen your relationship with yourself as you heal. Because the more you fall in love with yourself and get to know yourself, the more you become more open to letting other people in. It's also very important to challenge the negative belief systems that you believe about intimate relationships. What I love advocating for is affirmation. So literally write down the limiting beliefs and affirm that by writing the opposite of what you actually believe about relationships. So if you feel like you're not worthy of love, the opposite of that will be you are worthy of love. And then repeat those until you start believing them. And the last one is allowing yourself to stay present in the moment so you can reduce the anxiety that comes with. If you're having a conversation, just allow it to flow. Don't guard it and think, oh, what if this person uses it against me in the future? Just stay in the present moment, allow things to unfold as they need to.
So in closing, what words of advice can you give to someone out there battling with the fear of intimacy?
I'm going to say that your fear is real and your fear is valid. So first and foremost, please validate yourself. and allow yourself to be where you are. And facing your fear can be incredibly challenging, but remember that it's okay to take things one step at a time. Practice self-compassion, be kind to yourself, and really consider seeking help. I know a lot of people have very different opinions about external help, but seeing a therapist or seeing a counselor, seeing a life coach can help you kind of navigate your way through your fear, because then you have support and you have an objective perspective. You have someone looking from the outside in. And also growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Initially, when you're navigating this, it's going to be very, very difficult for you and it's going to feel very foreign. You're going to feel very outside of your comfort zone, but that's exactly where growth happens. So allow yourself.
Thank you for joining this week's episode of the Health from Zanzi podcast. To find out more about being the healthiest version of yourself, visit healthfromzansi.co.za, or you can send us an email to hello@healthfromzansi.co.za. This is the Health from Zanzi podcast, and your ears are always invited. Overcoming the fear of intimacy is a journey of self-discovery and courage, because beneath the layers of self-protection and fear lies a deep yearning for connection. Understanding the signs and causes can be the first step towards building healthy and fulfilling relationships. Stay healthy and fancy. I am your host, Candice Kumalo. Until next time.